1400 years. 1400 years. The Islamic world has been at war with Italy for 1400 years. Everything stated in this report is factual. It is not conjecture. It is not opinion. Welcome to Shakaama Politics. Islam is a major alleged Abrahamic religion practiced by a minority of people in Italy. According to 2011 estimates, 2% of the population adheres to this faith. If you detect any hint of disbelief on my part that Islam is an actual religion, that is because scholars have actually taken to dissecting Islam as a religion, and all have come up short. There have actually been debates, intellectual debates, with Muslims upon the question of Islam as a religion, Islam as being peaceful, Islam as being any sort of dictate to lead the person practicing the faith to be one with God and nature. And it has failed at every instance. The debates resulted in failure on the part of the Muslims to put forth the idea that Islam is a religion and that the practicers practice peace. So then it becomes into question whether Islam isn't actually a faith or Islam is a political system set for imperialism and set to destroy indigenous inhabitants of wherever they go. For those not educated enough to understand that statement, it simply means that according to scholars, according to researchers, according to public debates, Islam is not a religion and the Quran is not a religious book, but it is a system to destroy countries. Muslim presence in Italy dates back to the 9th century when Sicily came under control of Abbasid Caliphate. There was a large Muslim presence in Italy from 827, the first occupation of Mazzara, until the 12th century. The Norman conquest of Sicily led to a gradual decline of Islam due to conversions and immigration of Muslim towards North Africa. A small Muslim community, however, survived at least until 1300. The destruction of the Muslim settlement of Lucera. Thereafter, until the 20th century, Islam was virtually non-existent in Italy. During the 20th century, the first Somali immigrants from Italian Somaliland began to arrive. In more recent years, there has been migration from Albania, Morocco, Egypt, and Tunisia. Islam is not formally recognized by the state, the Italian country. The official recognition of a religion different from Catholicism on behalf of the Italian government is in fact to be approved by the President of the Republic under request of the Italian Minister of the Interior, followed by a signed agreement between the proposing religious community and the government. Such recognition does not merely depend on the number of followers of a given religion, and it requires congruence, take note, between the proposed religion principles and the Constitution. So the religion has to comply to the Italian Constitution to ultimately be recognized as a religion. Official recognition gives an organized religion a chance to benefit from a national religion tax, known as the 8 per thousand, commonly referred to as 8%. Other religions, including Judaism and smaller groups such as the Assemblies of God, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and the Seventh-day Adventists, already enjoy the official recognition in the form of a signed agreement with the Italian government. In 2005, a council composed of Muslim people, the Council for Italian Islam, was founded by the Italian Minister of the Interior. Strong disagreement between council members slows its work. According to the latest Italian official statistics, Muslims made up about 34% of the 2.4 million foreign residents, mostly Arabs and South Asians, living in Italy as of 1st of January 2005. To these, 820,000 foreign residents of Muslim heritage legally residing in Italy, another 100,000 to 150,000 should be added, as Muslims represent According to annual estimates by the Italian association Caritas, about 40% of Italy's illegal immigrants. The majority of Muslims in Italy are Sunni, with a Shiite minority. There are also a few Ahmadi Muslims in the country. Despite illegal immigration representing a minority of the Muslims in Italy, the issues of Islam in contemporary Italy has been linked by some political parties, particularly the Lega Nord, with immigration, and more specifically illegal immigration. Immigration has been a prominent political issue as reports of boatloads of illegal immigrants or clandestini dominate news programs, especially in the summertime. Police forces have not had great success in intercepting many of the thousands of clandestini who land on Italian beaches, mainly because of the sheer length of the Italian coastline, some 8,000 kilometers in total. However, many of the clandestini landing in Italy are only using the country as a gateway to other EU nations, due to the fact that Italy offers fewer economic opportunities and social welfare for them than Germany, France, or the United Kingdom. The number of foreign Muslims who have been granted Italian nationality is estimated as 115,000, out of which maybe 50,000 are European Italian converts. Muslims today represent 1.4% of Italy's population, a percentage much lower than that of other major EU countries, and still slightly lower than that estimates for Italy between the middle of the 9th century and the end of the 13th century, before the removal of the last Muslim strongholds in Apulia about the year 1300. While in medieval times the Muslim population was almost totally concentrated in insular Sicily and the southern mainland, especially Apulia and Calabria, it is today more evenly distributed, with almost 55% of Muslims living in the north of Italy, 25% in the center, and only 20% in the south. Muslims form a lower portion of immigration than in previous years, as the latest statistics report by the Italian Ministry of Interior and Caritas indicate that the share of Muslims among new immigrants has declined from over 50% at the beginning of the late 1990s, mainly Albanians and Moroccans, to less than 25% in the following decade. Recent points of contention between native Italians and the Muslim immigrants or illegal aliens population include the presence of crucifixes in public buildings, including school classrooms, government office, and hospital wards. Adele Smith has attracted considerable media attention by demanding that crucifixes in public facilities be removed. The Italian Council of State, in the sentence number 556, 13 February 2006, confirmed the display of the crucifix in government-sponsored spaces. Smith was subsequently charged with defaming the Catholic religion in 2006. There have been a number of cases of extraordinary rendition of Muslim activists, as well as attempts by a past government to close mosques. In September 2008, the North League was reported to have introduced a new bill which would have blocked the construction of new mosques in much of the country, arguing that Muslims can pray anywhere and do not need a mosque. The construction of mosques has already been blocked in Milan. However, the bill was not approved. On the issue of scholars, Italy does not have any prominent Muslim scholars. Many Muslims would rely on foreign scholarship. On the issue of organizations, a minority of Italian Muslims belong to religious associations. The best known are UCOI, Unione delle Comunità Islamiche d'Italia, CC, Centro Islamico Culturale d'Italia, which has its seat in the Mosque of Rome, which is reputed to be the largest mosque in Europe. Correis Comunità La Religiosa Islamica Italiana, which has its seat in Milan, but also a branch in Rome. Here's a note from Pamela Geller. Italy has denied religious status to Islam. Politicians cited extremist fundamentalist imams, polygamy, and failure to uphold women's rights by Muslim immigrants as obstacles to recognizing Islam as an official religion in Italy. And here in the U.S., we are paying for extremist imams like Rauf and their wives to go on Middle Eastern junkets to raise money for Islamic supremacists Ground Zero Mosques. Rome, 27th August. Aki. Mosques in Italy will not receive a share of income tax revenue the Italian government allocates to religious faith each year. Hindu and Buddhist temples, Greek Orthodox churches, and Jehovah's Witnesses will be eligible for the funds, according to a bill approved by the Italian cabinet in May, and still must be approved by Parliament. Until now, the government has earmarked 8% of income tax revenue for Italy's established churches. The great majority of these funds go to the Catholic Church, although if they wish, individual taxpayers may elect to give the money to charities and cultural projects instead. The head of Cores, one of Italy's largest Muslim groups, Yahya Pallavicini, said he was bitter that Islam has been denied the revenue from Italian income tax. Quote, work should be done on legally recognizing those moderate Muslims who have for years shown themselves to be reliable interlocutors who are free of any fundamentalist ideology, he said. Islam is not an established religion in Italy, and there is only one official mosque in the country, Rome's Grand Mosque. Politicians from the ruling coalition cite radical imams, polygamy, and failure to uphold women's rights by Muslim immigrants as obstacles to recognizing Islam as an official religion in Italy. Until now, only the Catholic Church, Judaism, and other established churches, including Lutherans, Evangelists, Waldensians, and Seventh-day Adventists, have received the income tax revenue from the Italian government. There also seems to be a deadline for the issue of Islam being recognized as an issue in Italy. This deadline has actually passed, and Islam is not recognized as a religion in Italy. According to the laws of Italy, it will be impossible for Islam to ever be recognized as a religion. The biggest obstacles are polygamy and women's rights. The deadline has come and passed. Those issues have not been addressed as a part of the quote-unquote religion, and as far as I know, they will never be addressed. Thank you for watching Shakaama Politics.